Welcome to ChiroSecure's weekly show, Chiropractic, Connecting People and Communities, with this week's host, Dr. Frank Vaught. As Dr. Frank says, and I quote, "What I am going to be sharing with you on my show is serving an underserved community, making sure that we're getting the reach and stretch of chiropractic out there to a much higher level." And now, here's Dr. Frank.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is a time somewhere, everywhere. I'm definitely excited to be here today and especially talking about an issue that's something I'm so passionate about. Not only chiropractic, but definitely bringing the reach out and getting the reach out to underserved communities, people that oftentimes don't have the access to chiropractic. They don't have the information. They don't understand it, so it doesn't allow us to get to the scale that we can get it to. Um, I remember being in chiropractic school, and it's probably some of the best times of my life because I didn't pay taxes. I got a nice loan check. And everybody had the same amount of money as me. So chiropractic school was amazing when it came to a neutral foundation and platform. But one of the things that I learned when I was in chiropractic school was that we were only reaching anywhere from 9 to 11% of the population. 9 to 11% of the population. And this blew my mind. And I said, man, when I get out, I'm going to get my percentage because it can't be that many chiropractors out there, going into communities or seeing these people, these chiropractic offices, they got to be flooded. And then I realized as I began to practice, there were chiropractors that weren't seeing the people that they wanted to see. They weren't able to reach the people that they wanted to reach. And one of the big reasons why there wasn't a connection, there wasn't a bridge to that community or those people to getting chiropractic in its most purest, most rawest form. And the people that were getting it, they didn't even understand the benefit or the value of what they were getting. So it's crazy. The 11% that literally are getting chiropractic now, the 11% that are getting chiropractic, they don't truly understand and know the benefit. And then you got a population that knows nothing about it at all. And what that robs this community of, what it robs them of, is this thing called hope. And it's one of the biggest things that we have the opportunity of chiropractors is sharing as giving. And it's something that's just so amazing. Being a chiropractor right now, you can't sit here right now. You can't sit here and listen to me, even if you're not practicing and you didn't have that moment where you adjusted someone, you looked in their eyes and you saw the lights come on like that. You saw the lights come on. You saw hope being restored. You saw, bondages being broke, barriers being eradicated through this vehicle of chiropractic, and people were able to see that they could have hope. Um, it's an exciting thing. So really just sharing with you tremendously, like how we as chiropractors reaching an underserved population, an underserved community can change the world. One of the things that I see in every community that I serve, my office is extremely diverse. And one of the things that's always is increased is this thing called productivity. Anybody that actually can experience chiropractic, for some reason, experience these crazy amounts of productivity. But it's not just with the patients, the practice members. It is with the doctors too. You find that when you go to a underserved community and you're able to go out there and penetrate and reach, your personal productivity begins to become massive. Uh, some of the greatest leaders of our time, I mean, period, the greatest leaders of our time, the reason why they were the greatest leaders is because of their ability to impact every single community. Every single community have a reach, have a voice in them, and give them something, whether it be negative or positive. But the greatest leaders, the people that have been known for having the largest wingspan, is the people that did it. BJ, what did he do? He had a backpack. He had a backpack. And one of the things he did was he was constantly traveling. And I'm not talking about going to Florida, to Clearwater, to get your toes wet. I'm talking about he was going around the world, getting your green books. And he was looking at some of the things that chiropractic was doing that it could do, doing the research and sharing it with world leaders. So you're talking about a tremendous amount of productivity. The next thing you could do, and if anything, is your creativity. Doctors, we already know as chiropractors, we are the most creative. We're the most creative, from chicken dinners to raffle TVs, to screenings in front of your office, to walking up to people and engaging them with conversation and giving them the gift, sharing the story of chiropractic. Like, we do that better than anybody. We're the most creative. So why isn't it that we're not reaching this underserved population? Why is it that there's communities that are going on right now that aren't receiving the benefits of what this thing was designed for? It's because our creativity gets stunted from this barrier for some reason. The minute that we break through that barrier, the minute that we go through and we actually start to execute and penetrate, you'd be surprised the level of creativity that you have to have. I remember the first day of my practice, I had a personal injury patient. I never thought that I would do a personal injury patient until one walked in. She was a wellness patient, and she came in. I think I was about 2 or 3 months in practice. Yeah, I know, 2-3 months in practice. Didn't think I was going to do PI. That's right. I didn't. I honestly didn't. And she came in, and I sat down, and I had to take soap notes. I had to take soap notes. I didn't have the forms for school. I didn't have the all of the diagnosis codes that I needed. I didn't know about Colossus, all of these different things. And I had to get real creative. I had to make a bunch of phone calls. I had to find out who Dr. Croft was, right? It's one thing to read them on your textbook when you're studying school, but when you actually have to go and find this person to actually help you to be able to serve a population of people you never intended to serve, all of a sudden, I was in Croft's seminar in San Diego with the docs that had vineyards and sitting down talking about PI, and I became a top authority on it. I got certified, and it was because I had to get really creative. I had to really start searching for the answers, and that's what's not happening right now. And the thing about it is it never really existed. And it's one of the reasons why my partners and I created Evoke. So we could literally teach and train docs how to go and penetrate underserved communities. It makes you more creative. It makes you more out of the box. Anything and everything that's out of the box, anything and everything that's out of the box thinking, oftentimes is one of the most, it can be more difficult, but it's the most beneficial, and it builds bridges to the next level. So with that productivity, with that creativity, these are things that all of a sudden begin to exude out of us, that begin to come out of us, and it's something that can be directly indoctrinated and within our passion for what we do. Every single doctor that's hearing my voice, or not every single one of them, well, not every single one of them, but a lot of you all have had experiences with going places like Salvation Army, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Kenya, all of these places, and doing mission work. Man, You go down there with a bag full of t-shirts and shorts, thinking that, man, I'm just gonna go down here and give, some of my talents away. I'm gonna go down here and get my skill set together. I'm gonna go down here and really work on the things that God gave me the opportunity to be able to have present with these hands. And then you go down there and you realize that you got given more to you than you could ever imagine. You got given more to you. You were more filled up. You were more satisfied with nothing. You were more satisfied with the nothingness of that, but nothing more than an exchange of the innate intelligence from above, down, inside, and out. You talking about satisfaction. You talking about peace. You talking about joy, and then you talking about being filled back up. See, one of the things that I hear a lot of chiropractors talk is I give, and you can't give from an empty cup. You can't keep pouring. You can't keep pouring. I've seen a lot of chiropractors at going to the, after the seminars, and we go and we have a couple of drinks, and then they finish the drinking and they keep trying to, there's no more left. There's nothing. There's nothing. But when you go and you give and you serve, and it's in a capacity that has no knowing of what's going to happen, all of a sudden you begin to get filled. You're talking about society satisfaction. One of the greatest things I learned with Dr. Schiffman, as being my coach when I entered into this profession and really starting to thoroughly immerse myself in chiropractic and the principles. One of the things that he would say, and it was become one with the bone. Now, becoming one with the bone has nothing to do with the community. It has nothing to do with a place that you're at, how you were brought up, what you know. It's everything to do with your God-given gift to heal, to be the healer. And this is why it supports our communities in thriving. Something else that's really, really instrumental that I look at. You talk about the state of health. You talk about disparities, and we sit up and we look at the news and we talk about the wrongs in society. We have a huge opportunity within that. Our offices are places of healing. Our offices are places where community lives. Our offices are places where people connect. We literally have communities within our offices, and if we're able to go to this community and go to that community and begin to pull people together, because pain doesn't have a color. I'm trying to tell you, pain doesn't have a race. It doesn't have a community. It comes from everywhere. And it goes everywhere. It exists everywhere. But when people have these discomforts, which or whatever brings them in, one of the things that we have the opportunity to is be glue. We have an opportunity to not only be the glue, but also to be the energy, be the ignition to have transformation in the communities. And Docs, I don't want to really get us out there and get us looking at, oh, okay, we need to go out here and we need to be Mother Teresa, right? It wouldn't be bad to be the Mother Teresa of chiropractic. I mean, it's not nothing. I mean, and if you're a passionate chiropractor and you're out there and you're in the trenches every day and you give adjustments to the point sometimes where you see people get up and you get tears in your eyes. I mean, man, I mean, it's it wouldn't bother you, but everybody, that's not everybody. Not only is this phenomenally something that's going to be glue within the community to give us stability and strength and give us a thrive lifestyle, it's also going to be economically powerful. I know if you're a chiropractor, I know if you're hearing me, and you give to the community. One of the things that you have to do if you're able to pull from underserved communities is actually be able to financially have a lot more. And with the ability to have more, you're able to share more and you're able to give more. Um, powerful thing that happened to me. I had a child come in and the doctors told her that she wouldn't walk again. She's in my office. She's called Miracle Baby. She was born at cast on her legs and all of these issues. She'd been to ortho. She'd been a pediatric physical therapist. She had a procedure done, was wearing braces, and the next thing that they were going to do was have surgery. She got one adjustment. She got one adjustment. She got one adjustment. I did a little YouTube video on it, but she got one adjustment and she went home and walked that day. Now, if I hadn't been a chiropractor, out swinging my spine, at a health fair and in a community center, that child would not have be walking today. And she does karate now. She's playing the piano. She's in dance workshops. She's one of the highest in her class, and she's 7 years old. People, now listen to this. She's 7 years old, and she does community service. Community service at the fire department. She's 7 years old. Beautiful child. You know, these are moments and these are ways that we change the world. Oftentimes we hear about, I want to change the world. We go to these seminars, we sit down, we look up at the stage, we our eyes are in awe, right? They're in awe. And it's always about changing the world. But changing the world starts number one with one person at a time. If you change a person's world, if you change a person's world, you've changed the world. And if you change it for a positive way, these are the abilities that we have to be extremely impactful and also to really live on purpose. So when you're talking about diversity within the profession, and if you're a chiropractor that's out there preaching and screaming and talking about the principles and talking about, changing the dynamic of the 11%, which is now, by the way, 6 to 8%, if that, because it's going down, then diversity within the profession is the only way that we can make a reach. It's the only way that we can get a broad band. It's the only way that we can be expansive. Every other profession that's medical reaches every single community, educates every single community from elementary school all the way up to graduate level, except for chiropractic. It's not going to be the schools that's going to do it. It's not going to be the community centers. It's not going to be the hospitals. It's going to be the courageous doctors that take a stand to go into communities and make a change. I'm not talking about stepping into, Iraq like environments, but I am talking about taking a stand, stepping outside, getting outside your comfort zone, and taking time to really go in and penetrate a specific community that is not getting served, a town next to you that no one has never come from, a community that has the highest disparities, looking at conditions, because we have chiropractic, baby. We don't need a protocol. All we need is a heart full of love and grace, something that's extended to us on a daily basis from our Father, something that's given to us on a daily basis. So right now, what I do is I urge you, if we're going to get past the percentage, if we're going to get a mass circulation of people, if we're going to reach people, touch people with the vehicle of chiropractic, something that's dear to me. I got a son that's just left. He's in Kuwait right now. I'm an Army veteran myself. My son's a Marine. My brother's an Air Force flight commander. I'm heavy in the military in my family. And one of the things I talked to him about is being a servant. And I talked to my staff about being a servant. And I was taught that in this profession that we're servants. What a servant does is a servant puts others before him. All right. And say you're not a servant, but say you just happen to believe in God. And one thing God says is treat thy neighbor as thyself. Your neighbor is anyone on the planet. Right? That's your neighbor. Some got distant neighbors, some got ones that are closer, but our neighbors are anyone on the planet. Reach out, take the steps. If you don't know what to do, how to do it, we can show you with evokechiropractic.com. Come to our information, get it, because we want to see chiropractic go to mass circulation. I would hate to think that my great grandchildren won't get a specific scientific chiropractic adjustment if no one in my family is a chiropractor because of the community that they may live in. Please take the steps. Please do what it takes to support our profession and thriving. Give us a chance. Let's increase the circulation of this wonderful, wonderful profession that we have, and let's change the world together. And I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to let you know that if there's anything I can do for you personally, I want to support you in reaching that community. And next week, don't forget to tune in. You saw the beautiful young lady's face come up, Chen Yen. She's going to have some absolutely phenomenal information for you. Can't wait to see you there. Be blessed.